Ladies and gents, welcome back. It is happening. Mandates are being lifted all throughout the Canadian provinces. The provinces, at least. The federal government, we haven't heard much from them. However, here we have from Reuters, March 9th, Canada's Ontario to drop COVID curbs, including mask mandates. They're showing a picture here. Truckers and supporters block access to the Ambassador Bridge, which connects Detroit and Windsor in protest against mandates in Windsor, Ontario on February 12th. Fast forward, March 9th, Reuters on Ontario, Canada's most populous province, said on Wednesday it would end masking requirements for most indoor spaces later this month and scrap virtually all public health measures by end of April, citing the reduced threat of the pandemic. The province also said it would end strict inoculation rules on hospitals, colleges, and universities next week. The broad mask mandate ends March 21st, although masks will still be required in healthcare settings and on public transit until April 27th for all those people who still take Canadian public transit. We have here Dougie Boy. Dougie Boy says a few words on the subject.
Let me be very clear. There's no pressure on Dr. Moore. I follow the advice and the recommendations of the Chief Medical Officer of Ontario. He consults with the science table, and we're looking forward to the recommendations that he's putting forward at 11 o'clock today. And we're going to take his advice on the time frame moving forward with the masks. And, you know, Mike, you look around the world, no matter if it's CDC down in the U.S. and the rest of the world, you know, we've been super cautious. As a matter of fact, I've been probably accused of being the most cautious leader in North America when it comes to this pandemic, but I want to be cautious. And we're going to take those recommendations and move forward with the advice of Dr. Moore, which has done an
recommendations that have been out there for some time and been cited by people on the side of protest. And BC has been dragging its feet in this whole scenario, but we're looking forward to maybe an announcement today, later today. BC retailers and restaurants prepare for lifting masks and vaccine card requirements. Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry is set to lay out a timeline on Thursday for when the province will drop mask mandates and the card requirements. Henry will provide an updated guidance alongside Health Minister Adrian Dix. British Columbians have been required to wear masks in indoor public spaces since last summer and have been required to show proof of vaccination since September. The province is considering easing the current measures due to significant drop off in related hospitalizations. The province has double vaccination rate of more than 93% for adults. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. The province has a doubly vaccinated rate of more than 93%. We were told 80% would get us there. I understand there's a desire to move away from orders, Dix said. The Retail Council of Canada is anticipating the province will lift the mask mandate in retail locations. BC Director Greg Wilson says retailers will be supportive of whatever Henry announces. But one concern is the public will drop masks once the announcement comes and will not wait for the cutoff date. For example, Ontario has announced masks will be gone by March 21st, but some people are already entering retail spaces without coverings because viruses also listen to decrees from the government and mandates. I'm concerned the moment that they announce a change and the changes are upcoming, they will just stop wearing masks, Wilson said. The province will support any businesses wanting to keep mandatory masks in place, even once the province mandate is gone. Wilson says there'll be retail workers and customers who want to continue wearing masks, and that must be supported by the public. After the requirement ends, we are going to ask people to remain kind. Be kind. Be very kind to the people who continue wanting to wear masks, asks the government. We are going to have staff and customers who are going to want to continue wearing masks, Wilson said. I mean, yeah, because they've been conditioned over 2 years to want to wear those things. There is a place for signage too. That's something that we have learned. The tone of the sign. The tone of the sign. The sign of the times, my man. So this is all coming from pressure from the U.S. Is basically opening up entirely against the wills and wishes of Canadian politicians. So the pressure is coming down on Canadian politicians to follow suit. This cracked me up. This is Ron DeSantis giving his 2 cents at a recent press conference.
You know, if you think about what they've done, Fauci is in the witness protection program now. They don't want him out. They've never supported any. If you listen to them, they never supported all these policies that were so destructive. Now it's like, you know, we all want to be like Florida all of a sudden, and nothing has changed. There's been no change in the underlying science. The ineffectiveness of those policies was apparent long ago. The destructiveness of those policies was apparent long ago. And they were the ones that were dipping their nose into Florida's business last summer, saying that 2-year-old kids needed to be forced masked when they leave the house, saying that school children had to wear masks for 8 hours a day. Now they act like that was something they didn't support, and they're saying that you don't do it. They actually said 2 weeks ago that everyone at the speech had to have an N95 mask. Then they changed it. How did the science change in 2 weeks? It changed. It didn't change. They changed that because they knew it would be a terrible visual to have all these people there suffering in mass, socially distant, while the rest of the country is out living their lives. And so I'm glad that I think it was because of politics. I don't think this was a legitimate conversion. I think they're getting negative polling, and I think most Americans associate these never-ending restrictions with their administration and like-minded governors and mayors. And it's interesting because for every governor or mayor that takes restrictive action, mandate, lockdown, almost all say, you know, critical of Florida. How many of them end up on vacation in Florida?
Okay, so he goes on about this. Funny guy, letting the world know exactly what's happening. So some people are taking to Twitter, showing their discomfort with this idea. I'm quite uncomfortable around maskless people in public these days. Masks protect our community, and I find it sad to note how selfish most people are. We have Sarah here. You know you can call her or she because it's in her, not in the bio. It's right in her name. I don't care what Doug Ford says. I will be wearing a mask until Chairman Tao says it's safe to take it off. And Dan on Twitter sent me this, cracked me up, and I think I'll leave you with this one. This is what virologists wear to protect themselves from a virus. Don't worry, though. Your bandana probably works, too. Oh, see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.